Another day and another debate around MCU and DC. Why are MCU action scenes considered better than DC's? Since discussing the book brand for a long time is getting cliche, I thought to bring a new angle to really discuss why MCU fight scenes are better than DCEU. I will tell you guys what I truly feel, and we can really discuss this in the comments section. Make sure to subscribe to this channel for more videos like this, and let's jump into the video. When the supposed rivalry spilled over from print to the cinema's big screen, the debate started rising among the fans. DC obviously had popular superheroes, and big action set pieces are one of the biggest crowd draws for superhero films. People came and witnessed both the universe, especially the casual audience who are not exactly interested in the events or what the character arc is. To them, the only thing that matters is action sequences. Since fight scenes are actually the crowd puller in superhero movies, audiences made an opinion for the two universes, and it's inclined towards MCU has better action scenes than DC. I can already see this descending into a bitter pissing contest, but I think comparing action is pretty valid. The DCEU is filled with mixed action scenes. Some are really good, but some are so bad that you start thinking, why are you watching this? The Smallville fight in Man of Steel, the battle with Zod, that is pinnacle superhero action on screen. Before Man of Steel came out, I would imagine how I would want a modern Superman film to look like when it came to how it portrayed its action, and Man of Steel comes damn close to what I had in my head. The action in Batman vs. Superman is debatable. Yes, Snyder knows how to frame action and keep even the most chaotic scenes focused, but watching the action, I feel the spark is missing, which makes people jump from their seat. Trinity battling Doomsday's scene doesn't overstay and is fairly short. For two, it showcases the Trinity's fighting style weird. The No Man's Land scene in Wonder Woman isn't really good, sadly. In comparison with all the DC films, Suicide Squad has the weakest action. The film is great, I'm not denying it, but if we talk about action sequences, it could have been a lot better. Shazam's action isn't incredible. It does have standout moments that make it pop a little more for me. Aquaman takes the cake, however. I would honestly put Aquaman up there as one of the best action movies, period, of the past 20 years. Every single action scene is a killer. Not one of them is lesser than the other. It has an incredible mix of real stunts and CGI that makes all the mayhem feel tangible and real. Birds of Prey has amazing hand-to-hand combat scenes. It's so refreshing seeing a superhero/comic book film that takes its time to flesh out really well-designed fight scenes with a focus on real stunts and choreography. As much as I like many of the MCU films, a lot of them stands out to me, just some of them really should have been up to the par. The three Iron Man films have a great grasp of well-staged and choreographed action. The short but sweet drone massacre in Iron Man 2 is still a standout set piece. Tony's remote rescue in Iron Man 3 comes to mind as well. The final battle in the first Avengers film is incredible, and really one of the only scenes that stands up to the action in the DCEU. The train battle in Age of Ultron is pretty great too. Sadly, the action in Infinity War and Endgame doesn't have the same kind of staging and momentum. They suffer a lot from the digital noise problem, where it's just too busy for its own good a lot of the time. The fight with Yellow Jacket and Ant-Man is pretty great, with a lot of memorable visuals. The action in Winter Soldier is overrated. The opening scene on the ship aside, all of the hand-to-hand stuff is pretty shaky and choppy. The car chase was dope though. Black Panther, although suffering from iffy CGI, has decently staged action, rousing enough to feel like you're watching some good quality action-packed film. Spider-Man Far From Home truly excels at action. The trippy Mysterio scene and the drone fight are excellent. There is a real energy and sense of physicality to the drone fight as Spidey is zipping around trying to take out all the drones as fast as he can. Good stuff. If we critically review the art behind action sequences, a lot can be discussed. The first of which highlights that physics matters, how Marvel uses physics to differentiate the power levels of their characters, like how Captain America's skill set is different from Spider-Man's or Iron Man's. The critic points out how, too often in DC movies, the physics don't matter, or the camera is doing something that makes everything feel weightless, taking away the real force of a punch, for example, and there's not enough difference between the heroes for the audience to really feel the power levels. In light of crafting action set pieces with the various powers of their heroes in mind, Second Point compares and contrasts how Marvel and DC creatively uses their characters' powers. It's not always the case, but there's a good number of times where powers interact off of one another in ways you can't predict, or they take something routine, like someone bailing from a car, and just go the extra step. In the DC films, every character is a blunt instrument, only doing the most obvious thing. Third and final point involves how the franchises make use of their characters. The general observation slips character moments into the cracks of big set pieces, how interactive the heroes were during the huge airport fight scene in Captain America's Civil War. Every action scene has its pauses when the action stops and the characters get to say a line or two. While DC also has snuck in some dialogue during their action sequences, their lines have been mostly generic in a way that they're almost always a threat or a form of intimidation. That said, it's also important to note that most of the fights in the DCEU have been between a hero and a villain, unlike Civil War, which featured a hero versus hero battle, and it'll be more jarring to see the two of them in a pissing contest, especially if it's uncharacteristic for both characters. Lastly, the MCU has the capability to do long takes, no hyperactive editing, and jittery camera movement, great stunts, actors actually performing most of the choreography, good shit. Balls to the wall, simple action. So that's the video, guys. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to share with your friends and hit that bell icon so you can get notified tomorrow when I upload a new video.